the next exercise, and it says display the employee name and salary for employees working in York. So first thing we do is we try to think about what table or tables do we actually need to do this. And we know it's going to be, we know we've got ename, and we know that's the emp table. I can bring that up here. And it says sal. Now sal is also here. So it looks as if we just need one table. That's fine, no particular problem with that. But then it goes working in York, and of course that's where we go, wait a minute, we don't know which department is actually the ones who are working in York, because that is in this other table. It's in the department table. So again, we're going to need to combine these two tables together, emp and department. So how would we do that in SQL? Well, we know that we're going to Cartesian product the emp and the department table together. And once we've done that, then we're going to need to run a condition, a predicate over that to only retain the rows that match some condition. And we've seen this before. The way that we can combine these two tables is on the department number field. So we go department number equals department number. And we need to add a little bit more detail because it's not really clear which department numbers we're talking about. What we're actually saying is we want the emp, the department number which is in the emp relation, the emp table, to match the department number which is in the department table. So the department numbers have to match on those two things. Now, there's a little bit more going on here because it says for people working in York. So what we're really looking for is particular rows. Now, the way that we do particular rows, of course, is to use selection. Now, we've got choices here. We could just put an and on here. So we could sort of go something like and, let's do that here. We could go kind of and we need to keep track of what particular field we're talking about here. It says it's employees working in York, and the way that we do that is if we look at the department table, you can see that's this lock column, isn't it? So what we need to do is we need to do a test on lock to make sure that it's actually York. So we would go something like lock equals York, like that. There we go. So we're going to retain rows where department number equals department number and the location is actually York. Now I don't like this here. Of course, what you could do is you could do it in a slightly different way. You could put another selection in on the outside. So you could do this, and you could put this. You could put this here. So it'd be a selection, and then there'd be another selection. But I'm just going to leave it as it is at the moment because it's a bit shorter, it just fits on the screen. Now the final bit says show particular columns, and the way that we're going to show particular columns is by using that projection. So we want ename and sal. So we're just going to put ename and sal in there, and there's our final relational algebra expression. Combine emp and department together using a Cartesian product. Do the selections to give us the particular rows we're interested in, and then do a projection just to give us the particular columns we're interested in. So let's translate that into some SQL. So I'm just going to close that down. Here's my query window in Access. Select from and where. So I always start with the tables. We know it's going to be the emp table and the department table. The moment that we have more than one table, we know we have to add a condition in to ensure that that condition is correct. The combination of those two tables is correct. So we know that's going to be emp.department number equals department.department number, like that. Now there's this extra condition that's saying it goes, we only want to see particular rows, and the only rows that we're actually interested in are the ones where the location is York. Now, if it's a number, remember you can just type the number down. So if it was like a department number, we could go department number equals 5. But the moment that we start trying to find and search on strings, words, characters, we actually have to wrap them up in quotes, like that. And the final bit here is it says we want two particular fields. We want the e-name and the salary. So up here, we just kind of go e-name and sal. Let's run that, see if it works. There we go. E-name and sal for the people who match those particular conditions. In other words, the ones who work in York. There we go. So let's just bring the SQL up. There's the SQL, and there's the relational algebra, which provides equivalent functionality.